Well, here we have a 77 Wagoneer 360 4-barrel, and originally it had this plate and the coil standing up right here. The coil's right here right now, but what I'm going to do, you see this wiring, I'm going to reduce it all the way down to a one-wire alternator, new one, and a one-wire distributor HEI, and we're going to get rid of all of this plunder, the electric choke, because I'm putting a new carburetor, intake manifold, valve covers, new oil pan, because what I'm going to do, new oil, I'm going to go through and I'm going to put a new cam and lifters and maybe the rockers, because it doesn't really smoke. And actually, before I put it back together, I'm going to pull all the plugs. I already have the wires marked, so it's going to be really easy to put that back on. But while this distributor is on it, I'm going to take all the plugs out, spin the motor, and check the compression on each cylinder. And if it's holding a decent amount of oil pressure, then I'm just going to do the top end, maybe pull the heads, get the valves lapped and replaced, and the guides. If the guides are loose, I'm for sure pulling the heads. If the guides are tight and it has good compression, I'm not even going to pull the heads. It doesn't have a head gasket problem. The water in the radiator, surprisingly, is good. And if you can get the cap off, Johnny, you can see it's green. It's clean and green. And when I had it running, I pulled this cap off. This is where you fill it, and this is where it breathes. Put it on there upside down. It never moved, so it doesn't have much blow by or any. So we're going to give it a try. I mean, it could have stuck rings, all kinds of things, and maybe I'll just go ahead, since I have the head gasket, to pull the heads and check the cylinder walls, check for a ridge on the top. You know, it's just, why tear it all apart and rebuild it if it doesn't need it? So we're going to do this a little bit at a time and only rebuild the engine if it needs to be rebuilt, because it runs on all 8 cylinders. It's a little noisy, but I think all the lifters have drained. When it runs long enough, it gets quieter. But I have a whole new package of lifters and a new cam, because it's probably got some flat spots on the cam too. But I'm going to remove everything, the smog, because it's going to be used somewhere where there's no smog rules, and the cruise control's coming off, and all this stuff that other people have put on it since factory is going to come off. And I drove it already. It goes through the gears. 4-wheel drive works. So let's just take this a step at a time. It doesn't cost more for any more than a set of gaskets.